Ooh, what up chaps, I'm MagicalMike and this is Entanglement. Let's try to answer this question: was the first patch of Season 2 a one-off, or was it a baseline standard that was set to be followed? Well, new in the Entanglement patch is some more of Dry Top, some more story, some more events, and some more achievements. Yeah, that's right, Dry Top isn't actually as small as we were first led to believe, and now that we have access to more of it, we can see that we're probably only allowed access to half of it in total so far. Now that implies that we only got a quarter of the map in each of these two patches, logically anyway. And that might be the case, but if you ask me, it doesn't feel like that at all. If we look in terms of depth and surface area on these two sections, while we got a lot more verticality this time, we also got a lot less playable terrain this time around. While the sections that we got look absolutely great, there actually isn't all that much going on in them, and we don't have the ability to explore quite as much stuff as we did last time. Let me try and break it down a bit. Last time the whole zone felt very open. Yes, there were a set of gigantic cliffs breaking the map in two, but you could still walk around on them. The areas felt defined yet still open enough that it felt like one cohesive map. This time, we got a lot of linear places to walk through once, twice, or maybe 3 times if you're looking for achievements. Scarlet's Tunnel is a corridor to walk through once. The Centaur Camp is a neat distraction for a few minutes, but it doesn't offer much to keep you there. The North Canyon in the map is also another linear corridor. The Oasis is small. The area under the Vine Bridge is empty and pointless. The Zephyrite Camp after that is also tiny and doesn't have much going on there. And the only truly open area in the patch is also overall pretty small. The final area is the cave, which, while it looks great, don't get me wrong, there isn't actually much to do in there just yet. You'll most likely visit these areas a couple of times for map stuff and some story stuff, but then there's no reason to go back. Sure, some of the events are worth repeating a few times, like the dust farming, but if you're anything like me, you'll be done with this area in less than a day. I just don't feel like bashing my head against the giant over and over again, thank you very much. So yeah, I'd describe exploring this patch as a very linear experience, though it was quite enjoyable to see how many different micro-environments they managed to pack into this small area. The Oasis and the Rock Canyon in the north were very nice to look at, I enjoyed that. And I also enjoyed the nods back to Guild Wars 1 with mentions of Nicholas Sanford, Yakington, Varashosa, the Vine Seeds, and the Mending Waters. Those were nice touches and I enjoyed those. The only real incentive I had to stick around for long though were the lost coins, and I sort of have a problem with them now. While it was nice to have that achievement last time, I felt like having another 30 inconsequential little things to press F on was kind of forced in there this time. I don't think it was necessary to shove so many things in again, and I'm still left wondering why we're just wandering around picking up somebody's spare change. Is there any significance to these things or not? It's not very... yeah, it just feels forced. I don't get it. And while I'm on it, I'll mention the Chickenado achievement as well. I don't really have any kind of opinion on that. I understand the nod and that's all it really needs to be, so well done on not overdoing the joke. Great. So what about the story this time? Well, I didn't like how we just followed a breadcrumb trail through the new section of Dry Top. That felt quite boring and it could perhaps have been split up into more objectives to explore the areas, instead of just running directly to the end. For example, instead of putting the stars showing us where to go, have them point at a small, that's important, general area that we need to look around in to find evidence of Scarlet and Inquest activity to follow, to just find the stuff we needed to press F on and, you know, have us interact with the map a little bit more rather than just running past stuff. So there were a few things that I didn't like about the story actually. I'm still not sure when my character decided on a name for the new dragon. While we the players know it, it's Mordramoth, I can't remember my character ever finding out that name. People are saying it might be in that dwarven text, but to be honest, I don't even remember reading that, so I don't get it. I'm also getting quite sick of Brahm as a character. The Norn in the first game were not just a race of meatheads, they were spiritual and knowledgeable, and they were impressive hunters, and they had all this lore behind what makes them Norn, and that's why I played a Norn in the first place, but now they seem to have been reduced to go smash stuff. And Brahm is a typical parody of a D&D barbarian, really. I'm not impressed and I don't like the direction that the Norn have been taken in. I don't like it. It's not interesting. Timey once again stole the show by getting all the funny dialogue, but after properly listening to the chatter a few times I realised how hollow it still sounded, and the characters still don't really resonate with me very well. And on top of all this, we still don't have a guild name for this group. I'm sick of people calling it Destiny's Edge 2.0. It's not Destiny's Edge, it's not a 2.0, it's a completely different group and they don't have a name. Can we please get a name for these people? We need something to call them by. But overall, the biggest problem I had with the story this time was with a certain character death. I'm sorry, but I saw this coming a mile away with all the build-up. We had this person built up quite a bit and we were supposed to care about them, and in the end it was just no surprise at all. And while the character spent about 5 minutes actually talking about it, and we had to sit through and listen to it, and it was all very heartfelt but not really, I found that I just didn't give a damn. I think they need to stop killing people off so quickly really. I mean, there's just... I don't get it. The personal story did it all the time. Hey, you meet this person, blah blah blah, move on, next person, blah blah blah, move on, next person, killed them, killed them, killed them, killed them. It just felt arbitrary, and you don't need to kill people off like that. You don't need it. Do something else. I don't have a solution. I'm just annoyed now. Anyway, so that was that. The story is okay if you try not to overanalyze it too much, but I find myself doing that all the time anyway. And it was interesting on the first run through. The end cutscene was also quite interesting as well, though I refuse to get into this giant debate, this mad speculation about it, because I'm sure the story will end up trying to explain it to me at some point anyway, and I'd rather just wait for that than trying to make sense of all this crap anyway. You know, it's just a bunch of orbs to me, and while I can read into it, I just don't need to. So in terms of gameplay, I'm still a little bit bothered about having to repeat the story instances several times to get all the achievements. I feel like it's artificially lengthening the patch by having us sit through the same sets of dialogue 3 times to get all the achievements in, for example, the cave instance. Which, it just doesn't need to be like that. And I also felt like in that particular instance there were far too many mobs to kill. Maybe just shorten it a bit, it didn't need to be that combat focused, and the fact that the combat was so simple this time around, in this instance in particular, why couldn't we have the characters go through their long dialogue sections while we were killing these things? Because while I'm sat on this laser, I'm just pressing one skill, and I'm just sort of ground targeting, and I'm not getting attacked, and it's pretty easy. They could have had the exposition going on while I was doing this. There was no reason for me to have to do 2 things that were both very dull on their own, but could have been more interesting if they'd put them together. I feel like the achievement challenge, though, is in a decent spot. There's been reports of some people finding things difficult, and that's good to hear, and while I personally didn't struggle much and managed to still solo everything, it still feels like they found a good difficulty level with this stuff, and I think that if they continue on like that, then they're probably good to go. So I think I just about covered that patch. That's it, and that's my thoughts. Tell me if you agree with me or not, and what you guys think. I'd love to hear your thoughts, as always. But, as a bonus though, I managed to glitch through the map with the help of a friend, and ended up in this place, north of the top edge of the map. It's an interesting looking area. It's full of these incredibly high crags, so you can't really get a sense of scale in the video, and these huge sand piles that glitch you falling damage down, which is quite strange. The area looks great, and while it's empty and clearly not done yet, and we weren't supposed to see this stuff yet, I can't wait to see if it's a part of Dry Top or if it's another map entirely, and I'd like to go explore this when it's actually in live too. So maybe this is a future patch preview, or maybe it's just unused stuff that got left in. Who knows? But take a look, and thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.